We thought we were gonna die.
Joe, if you can see the light, make the light go out. And I'll be damned if the light didn't go out.
Oh, no. Judas. Because the only thing I was wearing were flip-flops and a terrified smile.
That whole walk home, my companion kept telling me, I think it's following us, Elder.
Oh, God.
Oh, went into my house, like, I'm taking you down. He's just whispering, he's like, home, you hear that? I'm like, I don't hear anything, man. Just keep going.
And now, stories from your service.
Welcome back to Salty Saints. My name is Hayden Holm, and today we have a Halloween special. So I scoured the internet for some of the darkest minds of brethren that I could find, and I scrounged up Dave Butler. We've got Rylan from Ether's Elephant. We also have Jeff Borders, the Antichrist Playbook, and we have Roy from the Iron Rod Cast. And today we are talking scary stories, and we've got stories that are scarier than a 3-hour wait for new garments. So we're going to start off today with some scary stories from the mission.
Man, my only mission scary experience is unfortunately very non-supernatural. It's not very Halloween-y. I mean, I'll tell it to you. It's in a nutshell. Elder Hobbs and I went into a house to sort of tracked it out, and at one door there was an elderly guy, and we started talking to him. And about 30 seconds into the conversation, this was in Italy, a guy with a pistol came barging out, yelling at us that he was an off-duty cop, and if we knocked on his dad's door again, he and his friends would disappear us. And we didn't resist. We just kind of backed up and eventually went out the door. So short story, pretty scary. Went home. We called the rest. Took the rest of the evening off. But not a very Halloween-esque kind of story.
Psychos are a part of Halloween. 100%.
I had a few of those somewhat similar experiences, but I do have kind of a Halloween spooky story.
Let's go for it. Yeah.
We thought we were gonna die. Nah, I just wanted to throw that in there so you could clip it for the beginning to make it
I'm
scarier.
going to clip that for the hook. See, that's why we're bringing you on, Rylan. You're thinking about me. That's fantastic.
Yeah. No, listen to this, though. This is one of those stories where, years later, so something I think supernatural occurred. And years later, I was thinking about the experience, and I was like, there had to have been something that explains this. Maybe there was, I'm trying to come up with all these natural explanations. And I started to kind of doubt it in retrospect. In the moment, I would have never doubted what occurred. But in the moment, years later, I'm looking back, trying to find out, trying to explain it, which is a bad idea because I'm so far removed from the experience. So first off, the lesson to be learned here is the same thing happens with spiritual experiences. When you're far away, removed from it, you start to look back, and if you're doubting it, you might try and explain it in a way that's natural. Point is, I looked through my journal and I read what I wrote about it. I talked to my companion who was with me, and I was like, hey, do you remember this? And he's like, oh, yeah. I'm like, okay, yeah. And I dug up some of the messages we sent back and forth, revisiting this experience. And then I was like, you know what? I don't need to try and naturally explain it. I was there. I just need to trust myself. This was crazy. Okay.
For you.
Let me set the stage for you.
Paint a picture for me.
So in these days, we were missionaries that were staying out later than what normal missionaries stay out. For whatever reason, our mission president decided that we were going to shift everything by an hour. So we were going to bed at 11:30 at night and waking up at 7:30 a.m. Yeah.
Wow, that's a great
because he
schedule.
thought the culture was just staying out late. So, hey, we're going to shift everything for the missionaries. So we were out. This was the last part of the day. So this had to have been around 10 p.m. Normally missionaries aren't out that late, but we were out that late. It was dark, really dark. I don't remember any stars out. I don't remember the moon out. Okay. There was no lights from streets, no sound. It was just an eerie, cool night. Okay. We're walking along. We have this poor member who had nothing better to do that night than walk around with the missionaries. Single guy, great guy. And there's this lone woman outside, pale face, short, who's like, hey, in kind of this flat tone, can you guys come in? I want you to come bless my house. Something's going on in my house, you know.
Yeah.
This is only my second area in the mission and my first companion that wasn't a native English speaker. So I wasn't super
Wait,
good
where
at the
did you
language yet.
serve, Rylan?
Chile.
Okay.
Chile, yes. This was in kind of a sketchy area, which also had some, at least one experience with weapons
Yeah.
as well. But not quite as scary as yours, Dave. Anyway, so we go inside this house, and the lady begins to explain that she feels like there's an evil spirit in her house. And she explains the reason why she thinks that. So apparently, and our facts are a little messed up, we don't know if it was her brother or her husband. Her husband and or brother decided to self-delete by consuming some kind of poison. And he apparently was trying to convince his wife and his daughter to participate with him. And they refused to do it. So he ended up dying all by himself. And since that moment, she said, the house had what she thought was basically a ghost, some evil spirit that was in there. And so we're like, okay, you know, if we can say a prayer, do like kind of a dedication thing or something, like,
Yeah.
let's do it.
An
And of course, my
exorcism.
companion, an exorcism. Yeah, here it goes. Of course, my companion, you know, this is late at night. You know, I don't know how much I'm actually grasping from a little bit of the language barrier and from the tired sleepiness.
Yeah.
So my companion's like, okay, Elder Flowers, you say the prayer. So we kneel down and I start to pray. And immediately as I start to pray, I kid you not, there's something in the house that just starts shaking violently. Like my companion in these messages later described it as a very strong evil spirit that he could hear like scratching on the wall or something.
Oh my word.
And it was so strange. I remember thinking, okay, just keep praying. Just keep praying. Don't open your eyes. You don't need to look. Just keep praying. And the second we finished the prayer, it stopped like immediately. Like, what the heck? Okay, then we leave. And I'm like a little lost about what was happening. I'm like, and clearly the member who's with us and my companion are just kind of like, you know, they got the face of terror in their eyes, face of terror on their face.
Yeah.
And they explained to me kind of like, they give me more details. They answer some of my questions. I'm like, oh, like I definitely was thinking this is weird when things started shaking violently and angrily within the house, but I didn't think
It's not your average occurrence. Yeah.
Yeah, no. And I left that thinking something was in there. I didn't see it. I didn't look, but whatever it was, it went away very quickly when we finished the prayer, when we said in the name of Jesus Christ, gone.
Wow.
So that's one of my creepy stories.
That is terrifying. But I served my mission in Guatemala, and in Guatemala they're pretty they just are very aware that like ghosts are a thing, I guess you could say. I don't know. I don't want to call them like superstitious
Very
Uh,
spiritual.
they're very spiritual.
Stitches.
Just a little stitches. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call them any of those things because of the experience that I had. But I was in my third transfer, and I was training this dude from Argentina. And we got a phone call one night, and it was around the time we should be going home. I think it was like 9:15, 9:30. I answer the phone, and a sister in our ward, which we had a ward of like, I mean, it was a branch of like 15 people, maybe 15, 20 people. And she's whispering on the phone, "Elders, you guys need to come to our house." I'm like, "What's wrong?" And because she was whispering, I couldn't make out what she was saying very well. So I go, "Hey, Elder, what the crap is she on about?" So he took it and answered the phone. His eyes get all big, and he's looking at me. He's like, "Elder, we need to go to their house now." And I was like, "Okay, what do they need?" He goes, "I think they need a type of blessing." It was too late for us to be out. And we start going, we book it. They live up a mountain. So we're flying up the mountain, and we walk up. And as we get closer, I start feeling this like kind of a pressure, a little. I started feeling a little weird. And I looked back at my companion, and then I started connecting some dots. I was like, we have to give a type of blessing? Wait. What am I about to walk into right now? I get up to the house, and you yell. You just go, "Bueno." And so I yell, "Bueno." And I just see the sister lean out the door with a candle. It just leaned out and then just did this. And I was
terrifying.
Come in.
Hola,
come
hermana.
in.
I was so excited. I was like, hola, hermana. And I walked into their house, and the second I was in their house, it was like colder, and they're all huddled in their living room, which is tiny, and all of them are crying, but they're trying not to make noise. And I was like, what's going on? Like, I was like, what in the world? And they start telling me that all night they've been hearing something surrounding their house and in the rooms. Now, they have 3 rooms, so it's not like they can't go look, So they've looked, they can't see it, they just hear it, they can feel it, and they had a reason why they thought it was for something that happened with their family members. And so I'm sitting there, I'm just trying to smile. I'm like, oh, well, the spirit rocks, and we're members of the church, and we can say a prayer, and then they just start crying. They go, I think we need a blessing. And I was going to call my mission president, and my companion goes, our mission president's 6 hours away from us right now. We can't, we have to do something here. I was like, okay. I said, what do you want? And she goes, can we have a blessing? And I said, sure, we can give you a blessing, dedicate the house. And my companion, he's kind of a thug for this, I think, but he goes, Elder, I got this. And I was like, great. Have you done one of these before? And I'm talking about a dedicatory, blessing, dedicating a house. He goes, I've seen them done. And then he kneels on the ground. And I was like, okay, great. He was being so dramatic. So I kneel on the ground. And when we start praying, the same thing, Rylan, I start hearing this thing wisping around, whatever it is. It could be a dog. At this point, I was trying to convince myself. And I hear my companion move. And I look up at him. He's raised his hand to the square and says, in the name of Jesus Christ, I command whatever's here to leave. And I was like, whoa, what in the world? I didn't know. I thought it was dedicatory. Anyways, the second he said it, the only way I could describe it is like a drop of warmth hit my heart. And then it just went like this. Like a Kung Fu Panda skadoosh. Like
a spiritual grenade.
That's what it felt like. And I was pumped. I was like, this is incredible. This is the greatest thing I've ever experienced in my life. We said bye to them. They fell asleep. They called us the next day. They were like, we slept great. We don't hear anything. We feel the spirit. It's incredible. So that was scary. And I'm sorry, because I'm going on a little bit longer, but the scariest part of this whole thing is that whole walk home. My companion kept telling me, I think it's following us, Elder.
Oh, God.
Oh. No, ma'am.
Like,
no, ma'am.
I said, what do you mean? And he goes, I think it's following us. And I was like, I have no idea. We get home. I'm trying to go to bed for nights on end, over and over and over again. My companion would wake up screaming, like bloody murder, eyes open. But he was like glazed over a little bit because he was so scared. Like, Elder, what's going on? And he had these dreams where crows were flying into his mouth, and he couldn't and he would wake up and I was like, what is happening? So then my mission president pulls me into his room, into his office, and he goes, never, ever, 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 ever do something like that again without my permission. And I was like, listen, I got blindsided. I had no idea what was going on here. But eventually the nightmares stopped, and my greenie was fine. He was an incredible missionary for the rest of his mission. But that like a week and a half of he just was like, he always felt like something was following us. He always had these night terrors. Ugh, it was horrible. Wow. But it was dope in the end. It turned out pretty cool, actually.
Wow. So that explains why he walks with a limp and he has a twitch in his eye.
Yeah. Let me tell you about something, Sonny.
The crows, they got me. So my story. So I served in Paraguay. And in Paraguay, for those of you who know, I'll set the scene a little bit. So Paraguay, my first day, it's completely landlocked. You get there, and as I'm walking to my apartment with my trainer, a guy pulls by in his truck and he yells out in English, he goes, "Get out of here! This is the armpit of South America!" And I was like, welcome to Paraguay. In my second area, we actually had like 2 cities that we covered. And one of these cities was separated by the other by this big stretch of jungle. And the jungle had one path through it, and it was super dark. Like, it would get super, super dark in there, even in the middle of the day. Like, a ton of trees, a lot of foliage, a lot of critters in there. And one day, I'm walking, and it's getting late, but we remember that we had an appointment in that city, and it was going to be at like 8 o'clock, and the sun had already set. And I'm looking at my companion. I'm like, ooh, should we go? And he's like, yeah, we better go. Like, this is a good family. They're going to church. They really like us. Let's go. So I'm like, all right, let's do this. And if we were to go the safe way around the jungle, it would have taken us probably like an hour and a half because we were a walking mission. And so he was like, dude, the only way we can go there is through the jungle. And I'm like, dude, I've never been through the jungle at night, and that sounds pretty sketch. And he's like, let's just do it, man. So this is before we had flashlights on our phones. So we just went into this thing completely blind. So we get into this jungle path, and it gets darker and darker and darker the further and further away from the city that we get. And eventually it gets to the point where, like, there are cicadas that are all around. It gets to a point where you don't hear the cicadas anymore. There's no cicadas. There's no crickets. There's nothing. It's just complete silence. And all you hear is just our footsteps. And we start getting pretty scared. My companion, Elder Hill, he's just like, Holm. And he's just whispering. He's like, Holm, do you hear that? I'm like, I don't hear anything, man. Just keep going. It's like, oh, I'm so scared right now. I was like, just shut up and go, man. Just keep going. So we're walking. And eventually, we just both feel like something is watching us. And eventually, my companion just stops dead in his tracks. He's just right in front of me. It's pitch black. We can't see anything except like 1 foot in front of us and jungle all around us. And I'm just like, Hill, what's the matter? And he said, don't move. I was like, what's going on, Hill? He says, I don't know. And so then, right at that moment, something happened. He turned around. His face was just white as a ghost. He just says, run! And I'm like, what's going on, Hill? And so I take a step forward, and all of a sudden, right behind us, it sounded like a freaking cow had fallen from the tops of the trees and landed right behind us. It just went, and I was just like, ah! And so we just both just started booking it, man. We were just running. We didn't turn back for nothing. To this day, I have no freaking idea what that was, but there was something behind us that I was like, could be a T-Rex, could be a cow that fell out. I don't know, but it was huge. It was massive, and it scared the pants off of me. So that was my
money's on T-Rex.
That's what I was.
Yeah.
It sounded just like Jurassic Park. Just, I was like, oh,
You never know
no.
what they're cooking up in those labs in Paraguay. So
That's right. You never do. You never do. Yeah. There we
Yeah,
go.
I'm reminded though. I had forgotten this. I met a wizard in Italy.
whoa.
You guys
Tell
know
us
me?
more.
Yeah. So now, okay. So I may have to explain a cultural reference. You guys are so young. Are you aware of the TV show Beverly Hills 90210?
Yes.
Okay. So it was huge when I was a missionary in Italy. Okay. And people would follow us around. Young women would occasionally follow us around because they were so excited about Beverly Hills 90210. And so we would basically prank them by just liberally dropping the word California or Beverly Hills into our otherwise ordinary speech.
It's
Right?
a great
Like,
contacting
man,
game.
Elder, my backpack's kind of California getting worn out. I think we ought to go Beverly Hills over to the UPIM and get a replacement, right? This is when there were like 16-year-old girls following us. So we were downtown at a shopping plaza in Brescia, Italy, one day in the summer, and there was this guy in a kind of a purple suit. And you know, you're on the streets, you casually, when you see someone casually, you stop them and, hey, you know, what are you doing here? We're elders, we're missionaries. So we had this conversation with this very snappily dressed guy, And we explain we're missionaries. We say, what do you do? He says, oh, I'm a wizard. And he hands over a business card. And sure enough, it says, has his name, like Zoroaster Fabry or something. And
The gray, right?
Mago, the wizard on it. And I was like, oh, okay. And then he looks at me and says, you have women problems. And I said, I mean, come on, statistically, I've been there a year now. My Italian was really good. I'm like, statistically, that's a pretty easy guess, right? You just pick
How could you tell?
dude. And I said, but as it happens, like I'm a missionary. So like, actually, like I haven't hugged a woman in a year. And he said, I don't know if you realize that, but I go around using the lay form, like the usted form of address with women. Like this is just not me.
Right.
He said, oh, you have women problems. And he walked away. And obviously he was completely full of crap. And the next week I got my Dear John
Obviously.
letter.
No way.
What?
By my pre-mission girlfriend. Yeah.
No way.
No.
Yep.
Dude, he really was a wizard.
He was full of crap, but
Yeah. Eduardo the Fabuloso, he got you this time.
yes. He
He nailed it.
Woof. Man, look at that. Prognostication at its finest.
He was indeed a Mago.
We had just gotten home. We had our first son. He was still a baby, and he was still in his car seat. And I didn't want to wake him up, so we took him upstairs to our bedroom, and he was in his car seat, and we left him there. And we went to bed, and about 1 o'clock in the morning, I heard glass shattering in the house. And so I sat bolt upright in bed, and I'm like, I grabbed my wife, and I was like, hey, did you hear that? And she's like, yeah, so like something happened in the house, glass shattering. I'm like, someone's trying to break into the house. Well, luckily our son was up with us, so at least he was protected. Well, I was like, I need something to defend myself with. I'm going to get a gun out of the cabinet. Where are my keys? Oh, they're downstairs where the glass shattered at. This is going well so far. So I'm looking around for something to defend myself. And the only thing I could find was a paintball gun because I couldn't get into the gun cabinet. So grabbing my 9mm paintball gun, I walk to the top of the stairs and I cock that thing and I say, hey, if you're coming into my house, like I'm taking you down. And silence. And I whisper to my wife, call 911. Someone's in the house. And I was like, I'm warning you. I'll shoot you. And so she calls the cops and we're waiting upstairs. And finally we hear the doorbell ring and I cautiously go downstairs and I open the door and I'm still holding on to the paintball gun and open the door and the cop looks at me and I'm like, nope, that's not what that is. And so he's looking at me with that kind of crazy eye, like, what's going on here?
Like,
and I said, we heard glass. We heard glass shatter. And so he's like, okay, come on in. And he checks around the house, checks all over the house. No glass shattering anywhere. And he looks at me. He's like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, there's no glass anywhere in your house. Like, your house is fine. Everything's good. He walks. I thank him for his business. He walks out the door. I turn around and I walk into the kitchen and I'm just standing there and I'm like, that is crazy. I heard glass shattering, clearly heard glass shattering. And I look over into the sink and there's a chip clip that had fallen off of a chip bag, landed in the sink and shattered. And that was the glass shattering. It was a chip clip. But at the time, I was a chip clip. And here I was going to take down an intruder with my Tipman paintball gun because I couldn't get into the gun cabinet. Gosh,
so
I felt
let
like
me get
such
my
a goober
clue.
afterward.
I got my clue card out here. So it was nobody with the chip clip in the kitchen. Is that right?
Yep. That was exactly it.
Okay.
But I was
we found it
there
we
for
got
a while.
This case closed. Yeah. This was in my second to last area on my mission. And preface, there are a lot of creepy crawlers in Paraguay. Tons of creepy crawlers. Tons of animals, tons of insects, all of them. And there was one insect in Paraguay that was especially terrifying. And it was a big moth. And the moth was like about the size of your hand, like the body was. And then the wings were about the size of your hand too. So it was just like this massive, it was like a bird, basically.
Yeah, that's a bird. That's a pigeon,
but it was
dude.
It was a moth. But if you scared it, then it would drop some kind of like pee on you, and the pee was like acidic, and it would lay eggs. It would like burrow into your head or into wherever it landed, into your skin, and start laying eggs, right? And so like the eggs would grow out into boils and stuff. I thought that was just some kind of myth until I had a companion from Mexico who had to have special shampoo because he had a big boil on top of his head because a moth peed on him. And I was just like, oh, so the stories are true. So with that background, I'm in my second to last area. It's my turn to get ready for the day. So I'm going into the bathroom. I'm the first one in there, and it's cold. I'm just going through the motions. I've done this millions of times at that point. So I go through the motions. I get in there. I drop down on the toilet. I'm releasing the morning load, and I'm just thinking to myself, okay, got to get ready. Got appointments today. Got things going on. And then I see something flutter right in front of me, and I look up, and there on the wall, about like 1 foot away from me, was a moth, and it just flapped its wings. It was just like, and I stood there terrified at that time, because the only thing I was wearing were flip-flops and a terrified smile. I was just sitting there like, oh no, I just want to be a good missionary. I didn't sign up for this. Oh no. So I start formulating a plan. I'm like, oh, how am I going to get this thing out of here? Because I couldn't scare it. I couldn't shout for help. I didn't want like my companion to come and see me naked. I was like, that's not happening. No way, Jose. That's not how we do it. Wait, if you come from Kaysville, you understand. That's not how you do it from Kaysville, okay?
It's not how you do it.
It's not how you do it. It's not the done thing. So I'm sitting in the bathroom, and I'm just like, okay. I look over, there's a squeegee, because down there you have to like squeegee the floors after you shower. So I grab this squeegee that's on a broom handle, and the plan is I'm going to just smash this thing. I'm just going to take a plunge, all right? So I'm sitting down, I look at this thing, and I'm like, all right, here we go. So I do one of these, and then I'm like, here we go. I recite the line from Moby Dick. Herman Melville, right? Captain Ahab, I grin at thee, O grinning whale. Thus I give up the spear. And I shove this thing right at the moth. And I miss. I missed. I poked its wing. I'm pinning it to the wall by its wing, and it just starts flapping and freaking out everywhere. And I'm just like, ah! And so what I do, my next plan, I'm just like, okay, well, I turn on the shower. I'm like, all right, so here's the plan. I'm just going to toss this thing into the water, and then hopefully the water pushes it down, and then I can churn some butter. And so I'm like, 3, 2, 1, flap, get it right into the water, and I just start killing that thing. I'm just like, oh, die. So it died, it went down the drain, and then like 1 second later, I just hear, Elder, you okay in there? It's just like, yeah, I'm all right. I want to go home. But yeah, that was another scary story of mine.
This is another experience, but it's not a mission experience. So I don't know if you guys know this. I'm a science fiction fantasy novelist, so I know a surprising range of people.
Dave's lighting right now is perfect for a scary story, by the way. I'm excited.
Yeah, very dramatic. This is a good one. So I know, furries, and I know wife swappers, and I know the science fiction scene is full of characters. Including, I have more than one friend who is a ghost hunter, who are ghost hunters.
Right on.
Including my friend Tom Carr. So just for an example, the kind of thing that Tom would do, I moved to this house, the house we live in now, 14 years ago, and had kind of a party, an open house. He came in and he walked around the whole house, and then on the way out, he said, hey, just so you know, it's clean. No ghosts. I said, oh, okay.
Here's a thumbs up for you.
Yeah. So And then he said, hey, a few months later, he said, listen, I'm doing a kind of a ghost hunt up at the Utah woolen or the Barron Woolen Mills. Why don't you come along? And I'd never done anything of the sort. I said, fine. So this is a building that had burned down years earlier. It's a very old building. There had been businesses in it, had a lot of history. And I was driving up and thought I should get a light. Didn't have one, so I just stopped at a Walmart and got a brand new, 6-inch mini mag light, new batteries, put them in it, stuck it in my pocket. Went to this site, and there was a group here. Everyone else paid. He was my friend. He was kind of letting me in, and he explained. He said, "Listen, I've done a ton of research. I'm convinced this site is haunted, and specifically, I'm convinced it's haunted by the ghost of this vagrant." I forget the guy's name. I think it was Joe something. He said, I think Joe didn't actually die here. I think he raped and killed a young woman here and died elsewhere, but his ghost is haunting here because this is where his spiritual trauma, his guilt are located. And I was like, oh, okay, that's intense. And he showed me all this, he had all these things.
You just casually dropped that on you, bro? I'm not going into that house.
He's telling me, the research as we're standing in this ruined, burned down, it's the kind of thing where half of the second story you can still walk on, but you got to be careful because there's big holes in the floor and right. And he's got all these devices and he's trying to show me how these work. He's like, look, this is my electrospectrometer and this and look, we've been measuring things and look at this reading. And I'm like, okay, well, whatever. I don't,
Yeah.
I don't know what this thing is. This could be a prop from Ghostbusters. But then he's like, then I joined the tour and walked through the building and down into the basement. And he says, and it's 11 p.m. or something. It's dark. It's cold. He says, I'm going to try. He explains to the group what he told me before about this vagrant. He says, I'm going to try to talk to the ghost. And he said, does anyone have a flashlight? And I said, I got one. It's brand new light. I bought it 2 hours ago. He said, great. Turn the light on and lay it on the ground. So I turn on this brand new
flashlight. Don't do it, Dave. Don't do it, Dave.
I lay this light on the ground and he starts talking to Joe. And he's like, hey, Joe, my name's Tom. Can you hear me, Joe? He says, I know I sound like I'm really far away. I'm right here. I'm in the same space you are, Joe. Can you hear me? I think your name is, and I forget the details, but he's like, I think your name is Joe McCloskey. You were born in Grand Rapids in 1904. Do you remember that, Joe? Think about this. You're Joe McCloskey, and I think you did a terrible thing right here, didn't you, Joe? There was a girl, and her name was Alice, and you dragged her away from her family at the birthday party, and you raped her, and then you killed her. You're right here. And then he goes, Joe, there's a light on the ground. Can you see it? Joe, if you can see the light, make the light go out. And I'll be damned if the light didn't go out.
Oh, no. Judas. Oh, no.
And I'm going, and then he proceeds to have this conversation. And this is my light. It's not like a trick light. I just bought it from Walmart and it's got brand new batteries. And he proceeds to have this conversation where he says things like, if you're Joe McCloskey, if that's you, make the light go out, right? And it goes out again, right? And now look, I don't know what I don't know, right? Maybe there's some kind of trick. Maybe he had some kind of electric field he was turning off my flashlight with. I don't know. But it was pretty freaky. And that was an absolutely bog standard mag light with brand new batteries. And it was going off and on as if it was answering yes or no questions in the persona of this rapist transient ghost.
Holy crap.
Wow. Look at that. It started off with all the Ghostbuster stuff and then it ended there. That sounds like an MLM party gone bad, like an
That
essential
is
oils party
insane.
or something like that.
I would be so pissed. I'd be like, yo, I can't even run from here. We're in the middle of nowhere. Like, I
He's
can't
not
even
going
run
back
away.
anymore.
You guys are
Thanks
my
a lot,
closest
Vagrant
people.
Joe.
Yeah, I'd be ticked, bro.
Yeah. You know the retail price of those batteries?
Yeah, I've stopped getting scared and I'd get angry. I'll get mad. I'm like, no, stop. That's so
Don't go in there.
annoying.
Don't go in there. Please. Don't do that. Oh man, that is terrifying. Yeah, that's right.
I have a cousin that I don't want to take too long on this one, but he was telling me the story about these guys in his mission that this clown mask, they found a clown mask one time and they thought it was funny or cool or something. So they brought it into their apartment and then they were like, you know what? Let's just throw it out. They didn't think anything of it. They threw it out. And then like when they came back to their apartment, it was in their apartment. And they were like, what the crap? Like, that was weird. Then they thought, well, maybe we didn't throw it out. Maybe we thought we did. Maybe, whatever. So then they like put it in a bag and they threw it out. They went to the dumpster or whatever it may be and they threw it out. And then they came back the next day and it was in their house again. Freaked them out. And like they were genuinely terrified, called their mission president, and they like broke it up into pieces and threw it into the ocean. And after they like said some sort of prayer, so I don't remember like with all the details. They threw it into the ocean or the lake or something, and they never saw it again. And my cousin told me this story, and he built it up, and I was like, "That's the craziest thing I've ever heard." And he goes, "So, I was their district leader, and I knew they had this mass thing. Every time they would throw it out, he would go get it and put it back in their living room."
What a great district leader. Oh,
And
look at that.
he said it was just funny. He said it happened like 3 times. He thought it was just hilarious. And then he found out. Then they like bore their testimony about it one time. And he said he's never told them. He's never told them.
No.
He felt so bad. I hope one of them watches this video because
They're gonna watch, and you just ruin someone. They're gonna leave the church now.
I was like, when he told me that, I was like, oh my gosh, how many
Blame
pranks
it
have
on
been
the
played
district
on
leader.
me, dude? Yeah, how many pranks? Anyways, I don't want to throw everyone else's experiences out the window, but sometimes I'm like,
Yeah.
I know someone that brought the mask back in the house, okay? This could be a prank.
Yeah. Someone's doing some pranks.
So we have a family legend story that happened in South Weber in the 70s. I don't want to get too much into it, but there's like newspaper clippings. I've seen some of the people who witnessed what is referred to by the news media, not by the people who witnessed it, as Bigfoot. Crazy story. But
I thought you were going to say the Syracuse Strangler.
no, this was in South Weber.
I thought you were going to say Cain. That would have been scary.
I mean, Bigfoot, cane, tomatoes, tomatoes. I mean, no, but, okay. This other story.
Yeah.
Do you believe in curses? Because if you don't, by the end of this story, you might. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, listen to this.
I'm going to get some good effects on that.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. So, funny enough, it's with the same companion that we experienced that the devil in the poison house, which, by the way, we never saw that woman ever again. No. But again, we're walking around late at night. So we had a couple of weird experiences. For one, at one point we got lost. And we're in a neighborhood where you shouldn't get lost. It's dangerous. There's areas where we shouldn't even be at in the middle of the night. And we don't know where we are. We're like, where are we? We're walking. Soon we see a little memorial for someone who was killed. And we see another one and another one and another one. We're like, oh my gosh, we're on that street where everyone gets murdered in the middle of the night. Like, we got to get out of here.
Oh no.
So yeah, you just get this like the chills running up your spine once you see like, we have like I think we had a flashlight or something, but like it was so dark. That's what I remember the most. It was so dark. Anyway, one time we're walking home and we find something. These coins had been stacked meticulously. This wasn't just, some random event. The coins were placed there and stacked. Someone organized these coins. Okay. And next to the coins was some kind of satanic message that said, I don't remember exactly what it said, but my companion basically told me that it was some kind of satanic curse to whoever was going to take the coins. And so we come across them. We're like, okay, what do we do? Should we take the coins?
You take the coins, of course. You take the coins, of course.
And we decide, and I was just like, dude, the priesthood is real. This curse is not. Like, Satan might have power to bruise our heel, but we can crush his head. We're taking these coins. And so we said a prayer. We took the coins and smashed the message. We're like, yeah, we're rich. Let's go.
You obviously have never had a bruised heel before, Rylan, because they hurt really bad.
It's a lot of money. You know, we bought completos that night. I think we did. With the money that we got. Oh, man. Worth it. Well,
that's the end of the story?
Well, were you cursed?
That's it. No, yeah. No curse for the people, for the priesthood, you know?
Yes. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I was going to say.
Yet. You can't curse.
It's going to come back to you. So what was the curse? Was it like a piece of paper or something? Like, did somebody drop it on
in
like
the dirt in like some symbol?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I don't remember the details. We should have taken a picture.
Yeah,
was it just like the ingredients for like 4 meals, chili con carne or something like that? Don't touch it.
Yeah. We got food poisoning after, but I don't think it was real. I'm just kidding. Imagine if we took a picture and then we look at the picture, we get it processed forever. Like, hey, look, let's look at the picture of what the satanic message was. And we see like this face. Wouldn't that be creepy? Yeah. The face of the lady that we could never find again.
Oh, there she is.
Hey, we can make a good story, Rylan. We're going to have to tell this to deacons around a campfire or something like that.
Funny
Go
one.
for it.
You ever freak yourself out when you're sleeping in the woods? You ever have those moments when campouts, you're in the woods, super quiet? Well, I had one of those moments. Yeah. I had the pleasure of taking my father and my father-in-law and my sons on a father-son camp out, and we were all cuddled up in the tent, and I'm laying there and it's quiet at night, and all of a sudden I fall asleep and I wake up to, shh, did you hear that? Eyes go awake. I'm like, who just said that? I'm like, waiting. They're almost on us. They're coming. Who's coming? Who is coming? I'm like, now I'm freaked out. You know, I'm like, who is talking? Who's talking to me? Everyone else is asleep. I'm going to be protected in this tent. No one's going to get me in this tent. It was my father-in-law who was talking in his sleep. Couldn't sleep for the rest of the night, but I didn't know that at the time. He was having flashbacks of Vietnam. So I felt bad for him. He was having flashbacks of Vietnam. He's freaking me out in the tent. I can't sleep the rest of the night because I didn't know what was going on. Apparently, Charlie was coming to kill me. So, like, in the morning, I'm like, dude, I'm never going camping with you ever again. This is we're done. This is over.
Figure some things out before we go to camping.
This relationship is over. We're not doing this again. So.
It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, you just hear, something bit me.
So the moral of the story is don't go camping with your father-in-law. So
Sound advice.
Don't go camping with Vietnam vets, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Resolve your PTSD before you get into the woods.
Get down. Duck and cover.
They're right on our tail.
Not the children.
I had no thought to save my kids. It was just me. I was like, who's coming for me? What are you talking about?
Take the children.
Oh, man.
Every man for himself.
Man. That is wild. Well,
that's some good stories.
Any last stories? Anyone could top that?
My in-laws are having pizza at their house. I got to walk over there in the dark now. That's going to be tough.
There you go.
I'm going to have to say a prayer before I step outside.
Joe on the way there.
Yeah, hey, does Joe have any power over iPhone flashlights? Or
I think you should experiment. Take the flashlight with you and tell us what happens.
Tell him. Joe, you're there.
Just walk around. Joe,
Yeah.
Joe, are you here? Joe, can you see my light? Joe, make my light go out. Tell us what happened.
Vagrant Joe.
Joe, come in, Joe. Joe.
Can you hear me now?
You are a naughty
They're
boy,
coming
Joe.
for you. Yeah, Joe's actually a Vietnam vet. He's gonna start. They're coming. That's what
right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right
man.
on. Okay, well, we'll wrap it up here. So until next time, we got Roy Anderson at the Iron Rodcast. Be sure to check out his channel, subscribe. We got Rylan from Ether's Elephant. Be sure to check out his channel and subscribe. We got Dave Butler. He's got some books coming out. Do you want to tease it, or are we holding off?
Not yet. Soon. Early next year, probably.
There we go. So there's a teaser. And then we got Jeff Borders, the author of the Antichrist Playbook. Be sure to check out plainandpreciouspublishing.com and support their company. And in the meantime, my name's Hayden Holm, and this is Salty Saints. We'll see ya.